Strength and Conditioning. I am the Strength and Conditioning coach here. Today we are going to do a strength session, which is going to be the foundation of what we do further in the series, working on explosiveness, some animal flow. So we are going to get into our warm-up and get into our circuit workout today. And then 10 cross stretch, cross in the middle 10 times. Keep those arms nice and straight, shoulder height. And then we're going to do feet shoulder width apart, squat down 10 times, nice and low. Keep those heels flat on the ground. Chest nice and high, core is tight. And then you're going to go into 10 forward lunges, 5 each side on your arm. Try to get that opposite arm up. And once you're done there, back to the top, 10 jumping jacks. And then 10 claps. And 10 cross jacks. Keeping those arms nice and straight, shoulder height. And then 10 squats, nice and low, heels flat on the floor, chest nice and high. And once you're done with your 10 squats, back to your 10 lunges. Feet shoulder width apart. Keep that core nice and tight. Drive those hips up to the ceiling. Keeping those feet flat on the floor the whole time, 10 times. Good, squeeze at the top. Keep those toes facing forward, right towards me. And once you're done with that, you go to 10 on each leg. So keep one leg flat on the floor, other leg straight in the air. 10 times on each side. Squeezing that butt at the top, pushing those hips as high as you can to the ceiling. Good, nice and slow and controlled, don't rush through it. Good, once you're done with that, roll over onto all fours. You're going to do 10 fire hydrants each side. So your toes digging into the ground, core is tight, ground is nice and flat. Lift that knee up to the ceiling as high as you can while keeping that back flat. So I don't want you going up here, letting your back turn. Only go as high as you can while keeping that back flat, 10 each side. Good, keep those arms nice and straight. Perfect. quadruped position. One leg goes straight back, toe points down to the floor. Squeeze that butt and lift that leg straight up 10 times, tapping the ground at the bottom nice and lightly. Don't slam it into the ground. Keeping that back nice and flat still. Don't go up too high so your back rounds. Keep it nice and flat. Toes stays nice and going into the ground. And then we're going to go straight out to the side. So my ankle is going to be with my hip, and I'm going to lift it up 10 times. Nice and slow each side. Alright, we're going to go cross in and out, so you're going to start nice and low. In and out, 10 seconds as quick as you can, stay nice and low. Ready, set, go. Nice and quick on the wall. So speed, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to go forward and back, same thing. Act like there's a line in front of you that you're hopping over and don't step on it. Ready, go. Nice and quick, lie down those feet. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now we're going to do steps. So you're going to go hot out, in as quick as you can. 10 seconds. Ready? Go. Back forward nice and tight. 3, 2, 1, and last one here. Now you're going to do it forward and back. So forward, back. Same thing over that line for 10 seconds as quick as you can. Ready? Go. Use those arms. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. Alright, you guys can grab water real quick if you want. So we are going to be doing 3 blocks today of 4 different exercises. The first exercise is always going to consist of a lower body major movement because the leg muscles are the strongest muscles in our body that we really need to build a foundation with. Then the second exercise is going to be an upper body exercise to build strength in our upper body. And our third and fourth exercises will be some accessories, so little extra things that specific soccer players or goalkeepers need. And then our last exercise is going to be a core exercise because, of course, having a strong core is another foundational part in being a great athlete and soccer player. So our first exercise is going to be a goblet squat. So you're going to have your kettlebell right in front of your chest, feet shoulder width apart, just like we did in our warm-up. And then you are going to go down, keeping the heels flat on the ground, chest is nice and high, core is tight, and then stand up. So down and up, you don't have to go yet. Everything is going to be 30 seconds for 3 rounds. Second exercise is going to be our banded row. So you are going to take your band, and you will notice throughout the session that I will have the athletes use some different modalities. So some people will be using kettlebells, some will be using dumbbells, and different band resistances. That is to show you that people will have different strengths, but there are many different ways to do these exercises. And I will also explain a little bit of body weight stuff if you don't have any equipment at all. So with your band for your row, you're going to go on the floor, both feet on it, a little bit separated, about hip width apart. Grab that band nice and tight. My back is nice and flat. I'm not around here. Nice and tight. Core is tight. Squeeze up. Nice and slow. And control all the way down. One more time. And that is your second exercise for block 1. Your third exercise is going to be a single leg glute bridge. So you guys did this one in the warm-up. Start with those feet shoulder width apart. One leg comes straight up off the ground, and you're going to squeeze up. Hold at the top for 1 second. Nice and controlled down. We're going to go 30 seconds on each leg for that one, so you're not going to switch halfway through. Then our last one is a high to low plank. I'm sure you guys have done this one before. So you guys are going to start on those palms. Core is tight, butt is squeezed. Body's in a nice straight line. Down to the elbow. And straight back up. And then switch sides with the one that you went down to before. So now you go down the other arm and up the other arm. Any questions with those? Alright, so I will tell you as you guys go through what you guys are going to be doing, and I'll give you a little bit further instructions. Alright, for your hands, 30 seconds, you are starting to do goblet squat, holding it up nice and high at your chest. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Good, nice and low. You should feel that burn on your quads. Keep that core nice and tight. Nice and controlled all the way down and all the way up. 10 more seconds here. In 3, 2, 1. Now you are going to go to your banded row. So stand on that band, back is nice and flat, core is tight. Squeeze up, nice and slow and let it down. Do not let the band pull you down. You control the band all the way through, because it's just as equally as important to control on the way down as you do on the way up. Good, back's nice and flat, legs are a little bit bent, and go. Good, keep those elbows nice and tucked into the body, don't let them flare out. Pop up, you're almost done. You have 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Now you are going to your single leg glute bridge on the ground. Doesn't matter which leg you start with. Ready? Go! Drive those hips straight up to the ceiling. Feel it in that glute and in that hamstring. Try to keep that foot flat on the floor. So when you keep that foot flat on the floor, it really engages your muscles in a different order. So if you have that toe up in the air, it's going to only engage certain muscles. But if you have that foot flat on the floor, the order in which your muscles are engaged are more correlated to what you guys are doing on the field. 3, 2, 1, switch sides. And go. Good. Drive those hips up, hold at the top for a second. Squeeze that butt. Good. 10 seconds left here. Keep the control. Drive those hips up. Don't let them drop. 3, 2, 1, and roll over into that nice high plank, alternating high to low, and alternating which arm you go down with first. Ready, set, go. Good, so you don't want to let your hips rock. The whole point of this exercise is to keep that core nice and tight and keep that body in control. You're in control. Don't let gravity pull you side to side. Squeeze that core in 3, 2, 1. Great job. And we are back to the top, back to our goblet squat. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So this is going to be a very foundational exercise for what we do further in the future. So once you guys are going off to college, you guys are going to be doing a lot of lifting in the weight room. And this is going to be a very good foundation for you guys, making sure you guys keep that chest up, heels are flat on the ground, core is nice and tight, and then you can build from there. Almost on 5 keeping those elbows tucked in, not letting them flare out, and our back is nice and flat, core is tight. Ready? Sit. Go. Good. So for this one, we're controlling all the way up and all the way down, keeping that back nice and flat. Really squeezing those back muscles. Good. So try to keep that back. Three, two, one, single leg glute bridge. Ready, set, go. Good, and if you want to use that core even more, you can take those arms off the ground, put them in front of your chest, and that way you have to really engage that core and stop yourself moving from side to side. So that's just another advanced movement and another way you can advance the single leg glute bridge. So if they're a beginner to it, and 3, 2, 1, other side, ready, go. So if they're a beginner to the single leg glute bridge, you can have them keep their arms on the ground to stabilize themselves more. If they are a more advanced athlete, you can have them take their arms off the ground and it will engage their core even more. Good, drive those hips up. Hold at the top for a second, foot flat on the floor. 10 seconds left here. 3, 2, 1, and roll over to that high to low plank. Ready, set, go. Good, trying not to rock as best as possible. Straight down and then straight up. Really engage that core. The slower you go, the more control you have. Pushing those knees out when you go down. Good, much better. Alright, try to get as low as we can while keeping those heels on the ground. 3, 2, 1, to your row. So as you can see, they are using different band resistances. We have the black band, which is a little bit thicker, so the black band is going to have more resistance for your stronger athletes. And then you have red bands here on the outside, which have a little bit less resistance. Ready? Go! Good. Keep those elbows nice and tucked in. Working on squeezing those back muscles, really engaging those muscles. Getting up as high as you can. Hold it at the top for 1 second, controlling on the way down. Almost done. Just get down a little bit lower so you don't have to rock it up. There you go. And last, going to your single leg bridge. Last time here. Ready? Go! Good. Hold at the top for a second. Keep that foot flat on the ground. The closer you have that foot to your butt, the higher you're going to be able to get. There you go. Keep that foot flat on the floor. Almost done. 3, 2, 1. Switch it on the other side. Ready? Go! Good. Almost done here. Keep that foot flat on the ground. Driving those hips up. Really feel it in those glutes and hamstrings. position, you can have them actually pick their foot up and place their foot down to re-engage the muscles between every single rep. And relax, go into your high-low plank. Last time that we get to walk. Ready, set, go. Good, no rocking those hips, keep them nice and flat. Core and butt squeeze. Slower the better. Challenge yourself. How slow can you go? Less than 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Grab some water and we'll move on to block 2. We are going to be going on to some other major leg movements, and we are going to be doing some more single leg stuff. So our first exercise is going to be a split squat, so we're going to have different variations. So one foot's going to be in front, other foot's going to be in back. We're going to drive down with our back leg and drive up. It's going to be a little bit different. Everyone's going to be a little bit more comfortable with their different stance, but what you want to focus on is not having their foot here so their knee goes all the way over their toe. You really want to focus on this front heel being flat down on the ground. And what this exercise does that the squat didn't necessarily do is work on single leg strength and balance. So when you are in this position, which if you think about it, when you run, when you jump, everything is pretty much off of one leg. So when you're doing the squat, you're getting a lot of strength, and that's a very good foundation for your quads, your hamstrings, your butt, but you also want to work on that single leg strength, which is going to be very foundational for when we work on plyos and explosive in our second episode here. Our second movement for block 2 is going to be prone I's, Y's, and T's. So just like we worked on our back with the row, it is equally as important to work on the shoulders, especially with goalkeepers. So we're going to be on the ground. You don't even need weights for this one. You're going to go I's, straight up, Y's, make it Y out at an angle, and then T, straight up. To make this movement more challenging, you can have them raise their lower body as well, or you can add 2.5-pound weights. So what this does is work back of your shoulders. So when goalkeepers go up, a lot of the times they'll get hit in the air, their arms will move side to side. So they really need to have nice, strong, stable shoulders, and that way they don't pull anything and they're strong in the air, especially with these group of girls. They're going to be going into college, and that is not something that you want to be dealing with going into college. Our third exercise is going to be a slider lateral lunge. So we are going to grab our sliders over there, but I'll show you the general movement right now. You're going to be out to the side and back to the middle. And then out to the side and back to the middle. So this is going to be working on adductors and abductors. So this is an accessory movement, and it works on the outside of your hips and the inside of your hips. So these are very important movements because when goalkeepers are on the line, they have to go side to side, or any soccer player in general really needs a lot of agility and moving side to side. So if you only work on the quads, hips, butt, and hamstring, you're not going to be strong going side to side, and you're going to get groin pulls, you can get glute pulls, your IT band can start getting really tight and messing up some other things around here. So you want to make sure your adductors and abductors are strong as well. So your abductors are on the outside, adductors are on the inside. So we're going to be going out and using the adductor to come in. Out, adductor to come in. And we're going to go 30 seconds on each side. But if you do not have a slider, you're going to have the athlete just do it without the slider. So come out and then use the adductor to pull yourself in. The last exercise is a banded partner plank. So I will demonstrate this one more in the demo. However, if you do not have a partner, all you need to do, so the band is going to go around your waist, and then if you have a partner, the partner will go on the other side, or your partner can pull it for you. Here we go. So your partner can pull it for you. So I'm going to put it around my waist, go down on the ground into a low plank position. So I'm going to be on my elbows, and my partner is going to be able to pull me as far as I can hold myself straight. So the whole goal of this is to keep that core nice and tight, and what you don't want to happen is this. You want to keep that core nice and tight, and you want to be able to resist the side movement. So I'll have these two demonstrate the part of band plank as I talk through it just a little bit. So both of them are going to go into the band. They are going to face opposite directions, and they are going to go down into a low plank on their elbows. Body is going to be nice and flat, and they are going to separate as far as they can. The goal of this exercise is to keep your body nice and flat, not to let the band pull you in. You guys are good, you can relax. Not to let the band pull you in at all, and getting those good obliques nice and challenged. That way you can get a strong core. And as I said before, if you don't have a partner, you can tie it on to something if you do have a band. And if you don't have a band, a normal side plank still works those obliques. All right, here we go. 30 seconds each, starting with that split squat. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Good, driving that back knee down to the ground. So here I have 3 different modalities being used. We can start off with a simple body weight squat or split squat, just like this in the middle, making sure their core is nice and tight, their chest is up nice and high, and they're able to balance. A lot of people might have ankle stability issues, so I would not want to add weight immediately, even if their legs are strong, because that is not the goal of what I'm focusing on. And switch sides. Ready, set, go. Then I would move on to the band, because as you see, when she goes down, the resistance gives out. So as she goes down, she just has her body weight to worry about, but she gets the extra resistance on the way up. So you can still make sure she has a nice tight core, chest is nice and high, and the band isn't pulling her down as she goes up. Then over here, we have our kettlebells. And 3, 2, 1, to your eyes, wows, and tees. So with the kettlebell, that would be my last, most advanced movement. Still making sure they have a core tight and chest up, but that's where you are able to, add weight and make it even more challenging. Ready, go! Keep those thumbs nice and high to the sky. Good, really squeeze, engage those back muscles and shoulders every time, so don't necessarily lift up your back. So try to keep that back a little bit lower, lift up your shoulders high. There you go, good. There you go, nice and high, really squeeze, keep going, yep. 3, 2, 1, to your lateral lunge. If you have a slider, use your slider. If you don't, you are body weight. Ready, set, go. Stay on one leg the whole 30 seconds. Make sure when you guys go out, this leg stays nice and straight. You want all that weight on that bent leg. So this exercise not only works on your abductors and adductors, working on the little things, but also balance. You're going to see what happens when their body weight shifts. And for goalkeepers, that happens a lot. So this exercise is going to tell you a lot. And relax up the side, and go. So this exercise is going to tell you a lot about what their strengths and weaknesses are, what you have to work on, where they're going to be strong on the field, where they might not be as strong on the field. 15 seconds. I'm going to try and get a little bit lower. seconds each exercise. With the side oblique plank, you make sure you get 30 seconds on each side as well as the split squat. But we are going to move on to block 3. So block 3, your first exercise is going to be an RDL. So we are going to have a kettlebell. This is going to work on the back side. Again, the importance of the back side. We really need to have our quad to hamstring ratio equal, which many soccer players are quad dominant, and you will see groin and hamstring injuries all over the place because of this. So your feet are going to be nice and shoulder width apart. Your butt is going to go straight back. Back's nice and flat. And squeeze up at the top, squeezing the glutes. So back down one more time. And up. So each person going down is going to have a different length that they go down. So when you go down, you're going to feel your hamstrings get not necessarily tight and pull, but you're going to feel right where your hamstring stretches. So a lot of people will say maybe go all the way down to the ground, but some people's hamstrings just aren't that flexible. So you're going to go down until you feel just a little bit, and that's where you go for your hamstring and your RDL. You don't go any farther, you don't go any higher. Alright, so next one is a half kneeling shoulder press. One knee is going to be up, one knee is going to be down, back toe is digging into the ground. I'm going to have a kettlebell here. Again, my core is not tight right now. Now my core is tight. Brings my hips back a little bit, makes me in a nice straight line. I'm going to keep my palm and bicep near my ear the whole time. Drive it straight up and drive it straight down. And again, especially for goalkeepers, shoulder stability and core stability while moving is very, very important. You will also feel this in your quad, not your quad, your hamstring and your glute by engaging this back leg here. Another advanced movement, which I will have one of them try during this, is up here. So my first one was down here. The second one, I'm going to have the kettlebell balancing here. As you can see, it's shaking a little bit, so this requires a lot more balance and stability. All the way up and all the way down. So that'll be a next level advancement for this exercise. All right, so knee dips to lateral lunge. This is going to work on your abductors. So the outside of your glutes, which you use when you shuffle, which as a goalkeeper, you are shuffling a lot of the time. So feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. You're going to dip one knee in while keeping this foot flat on the ground. Dip the other knee in, and then you're going to step to the right. Dip one knee in, dip the other knee in, and then step to the left. Notice I'm in a nice athletic stance. My core is nice and tight. Feet stay about shoulder width apart, and my feet never come off the ground. So as I was talking about before, some people have different ankle issues, some people have different ankle flexibility. So the distance that your knee is able to come in and the foot does not come off the ground is going to be different for everyone. Some people might only be able to go here, some people might be able to go all the way in. That is perfectly fine. That's wherever their ankle lets them go. The only focus is to not let the foot come off the ground, because then you stop working the abductor muscle that you want to be working. Alright, last one is a pull-off press to a raise. So I'm going to have one of my athletes hold this band for me. Alright, so this is going to be a pull-off press to a raise. So I'm going to have her act as my wall right now, so she's just going to hold it as hard as she can and stay in place. That's my wall. So, athletic stance, what she is doing, similar to the oblique side plank or the partner band side plank that we did before, this is going to be working my oblique on the side. So I'm going to do a pull-off press, core is tight, and back out, and then we're going to go up, keeping it right in the middle of my body and down. So this band is pulling me this way. What I don't want to happen is this, and when I go up, I don't want this to happen. You want to keep that band in the center of your body the whole time, out and in, and press up. So as I talked about before with shoulders and goalkeepers, they go above their heads a lot, whether it's to come up for a corner, whether it's to come from a free kick and get the ball. They're up here a lot, they get hit a lot in the air. So you want their core and shoulder stability to be great. That way they don't get injured and they're strong and they get the ball and the opponent does not. All right, RDL, 30 seconds, ready, go. So feet shoulder width apart, keep those toes facing forward, butt is back, and explode those hips forward. So you're only moving those hips. Butt is back, and then forward. Good. Keep that weight nice and close to your body. And up. So keep that weight a little closer to your body. So straight down. Perfect. Looks good. Looks good. And relax. Go to our half kneeling shoulder press. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Remember, take that back toe into the ground, engage that glute and hamstring. So as you see right here, we have 3 different modalities going on. We have the balance stability one over here, the one over here where the kettlebell ball is down, and then in the middle we actually have a band. So we want to keep that elbow nice and tucked in the whole time, driving that arm straight up with our bicep by our ear. 3, 2, 1, and switch it up, other side. Right, go. So as you just saw what I did right there, the first round she was struggling just a little bit. So what you want to do is give them less resistance. So give her more band to work with on the side that she's working on, and less band to hold on the other side. Keeping that core nice and tight. And as you can see, this exercise over here is a little bit harder than the outside one over here because she has to stabilize her wrist, her arm, and her core just a little bit more. 3, 2, 1, and to your mini band. Knee dips to a lateral walk. Alright, so remember, one knee in, other knee in, step. Ready? Set. Go. Good. Keep that foot nice and flat. So one knee in, so keep that foot facing forward. And then dig one knee. Good. That's it. Perfect. So see how if you noticed in the beginning, her foot was turning in, and I made her foot stay nice and stable, and just dip the knee in, and then come back out. Her ankle stability was a little bit less than she was used to, and she didn't really like it, so she tried to yank it a little more, but that's not what we want. Keep that foot nice and flat on the ground. Stay nice and low, keep that core tight. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. Last one, cow press to raise. Guys, use that yellow band, and I will come over here and we go the rest. So press out, and then up. Ready, set, go. So keep those arms nice and straight. So press out and then go up. Yep, in, perfect, just like that. Good. So if you notice they're in a nice balanced stance, their core is nice and tight. Pressing straight out and then straight up. You don't want to push yourself too much on this exercise, just a little bit of resistance so they have to resist that turn and getting that good core workout. And relax, other side. Ready, set, go. And as you notice, I have them using the yellow band over there, which is less resistance, and then we have the red band over here, which is a little bit more. Good. All the way above that head, full range of motion. 3, 2, 1, and relax. So you would do that 30 seconds for each person on both sides. They could potentially actually do this exercise together, so both face the same direction. One person would do the pal, press, raise, hold it out here for more advanced, or they can hold it in here if they're not at that advanced level while the other partner is going there holding it in. So they can actually do that both at the same time. Again, if you don't have a partner, you can also tie the band onto something else. So you can go through that 3 rounds, 30 seconds each. Make sure if it's something on sides, you do both sides. And then you will do a nice cool down and stretch or foam roll if you do have a foam roller. Stretching is so important at the end of the sessions because you don't want your muscles to tighten up. You don't want them to pull. When you go to another session, you want to make sure they're loose and ready to go. When you foam roll, it actually gets a little bit deeper into the tissue. So stretching is to lengthen out the muscles. When you foam roll, it lengthens out the muscles a little bit, but it's more if you're sore and you really want to get in there. So for your IT bands, a lot of people forget about the IT bands. That is a crucial part, especially in soccer players. But when you do stretch and foam roll, you want to make sure you get everything, your IT bands, your hips, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes, because remember, everything is connected. And if you have a knee problem, it might be because your glute is tight. And if you don't know that everything's connected, you might not know that. And then if you also have something really, really tight, you might want to get a lacrosse ball or a golf ball and dig in there. It's not going to be comfortable, but I promise that it will be the most beneficial for your body and you will be ready to go next session. Thank you so much for joining us in our strength session today. Remember, the goal today was to get the foundation for your muscles in your body, and we are going to move on to our explosive and plyo episode next.